Well, hello there. It would appear that you found yourself on the, inaugural episode. I'm going to call it a preface episode of the newest podcast for no one in particular. If you found your way here, odds are likely that we're friends. If you found your way here and you have no clue who I am, well then welcome. Glad to have you on board, and I guess you're a friend now. One thing you might want to know right off the top, I am by myself, which is weird. It's a weird thing to do. Normally I have a lot of co-hosts around me for all the different shows that I do and I'm a part of, but not for this one. This one is going to be done a little bit differently. So before we discuss the title of the podcast and what it means, I want to make sure everyone is aware of a few things. Number one, and it says it on the description if you pay attention to those things, but this podcast will not have a regular upload schedule. No weekly, bi-weekly. I'll be honest, I don't even think I can guarantee monthly. The content will be uploaded when I feel I have the right topic that I'm comfortable and knowledgeable about, and I think it'll be entertaining enough. I'll release it. So with that being said, if you're still here, this title was chosen because everything I'm going to release on this podcast is of some, weird laser-focused hobby or interest of mine. And essentially, this podcast is just my brain come to life in an audible format. I run two other podcasts, and I'm the host. I'm one of the hosts on a third. And one of them is very localized. That's the morning show. The other two that I'm a part of are Mic'd Up and Mildly Qualified, which is a pop culture comedy podcast. And then Generational Talent, which is a sports podcast I do with my dad. So anything I release on this podcast is something that I don't think would work well with those other shows. And I just don't want to let some of these ideas just fall into nothingness. So if you're still listening, let me make a quick confession. In reality, the title for no one in particular is actually a little bit of a lie. I'm making this podcast for several people, my kids. I'm a man with a lot of interests, and sometimes they consume me. And I think that, what makes up a person, aside from their personality, is their interests and hobbies, which often help create those personalities. And if my kids were to find this podcast, years and years and years into the future, I hope that they listen to it to help understand their dad a little bit better. The things I like, the type of person I am and was, depending on when they listen to it. They can ask me about stories anytime they want, but sometimes I think it's better to have things frozen in time. And I'm going to tell you why this podcast really came to fruition in my head. So years ago, my grandfather passed away. It wasn't sudden, but it still was not fun. And I didn't know at that point in time the best way to memorialize him. So when my brother and I went down to Florida to visit him, kind of a last visit scenario, we decided to interview him. And I did this interview. It's a long, long one. And it's full of stories and things about him that I already knew, but it's also full of things that I didn't know. And in the moment of recording, I didn't quite know why I was doing it or who it was for other than myself. But I've since realized that it was a great gift for his daughters, my aunt and mom, a great gift for myself, something to look back on in case I ever, tend to forget him. And I feel strongly that a part of you stays alive in the memories of others. How you choose to bestow those memories is up to you. I'd like to think that my kids will remember me years after I'm gone through all the fun times we've had, hard lessons learned, and the love that I tried my best to give them. But you never know which way life will take you. So to help prepare for anything like that might come my way, I wanted my kids to have this podcast. It's a gift to them. So I guess it's for no one in particular other than my kids. But that's a long title. So I hope that they have some of the same interests as I do as they live their lives. I'm not going to be around to debate them and talk about everything and anything for the rest of their lives. So maybe if there's some topic that I discuss on this pod that they also are interested in, they can listen to this and know exactly where I stood on certain things or how I felt about certain things. Now, I'm not trying to get depressing. Jesus, I know that's how some of that came off, and I apologize for that. But you should know that I do plan on having a lot of fun with this. This is going to be a fun podcast because, again, these are interests that I'm passionate about. So if anything, I'm going to have a lot of energy for it. And I'll give you guys a hint, not even a hint. I'll just full out say it. So the first episode of this podcast, which I'm hoping to have out soon, will be a ranking of every Stephen King novel that's been written up to this point in time, which I'm recording this as of August 2nd, 2025. I believe it's 68 novels. I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me here, but I spent a good chunk of my life reading every novel he's ever written, and I feel pretty confident in my ranking of them. I have a score attached to each one of them, and I think, again, my fellow co-hosts have not read all the Stephen King books. I doubt they've read more than one. if even one. And so that's why this kind of thing was a perfect first episode for no one in particular, because again, it's just not something I can do anywhere else that I'm going to be able to have a lot of back and forth with. Again, super excited to release that episode. I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out. You know, if it does do well and it is popular and we have a lot of Stephen King fans that find their way to this, you know, I would say this, I'm in the process of reading all of his short stories as well. I have every collection. I own them all, so now I just got to read them all. And I would love to do the same thing for that. So again, guys, that's for no one in particular. This is going to be, I think, probably season 1, episode 0, just because it's going to be a very big watch this or listen to this before you continue on kind of thing. But if you enjoyed this or this sounds interesting to you, I hope to catch you all on episode 1 coming out soon.